مساء الخير إلى جميع المشاهدين. على مدى العصور لطالما كانت بلاد الهند أرض الصوفية والتصوف وصورة السلام والسكينة والحكمة، لذا تشكل هذه البلاد تعارضا مع عالم تحكمه العلوم والتكنولوجيا في عصر هو سجين العقائد والبدع وأنظمة الإيمان غير العقلاني. سادغورو الصوفي العميق هو شاهد على الإرث الصوفي الذي تمثله الهند اليوم. يقدم سادغورو إمكانية استخدام المسؤوليات الاجتماعية والأسرية عالمياً كأدوات للنمو الشخصي وتحقيق الذات. هو المعلم المعاصر المتجذر في الخبرة والحكمة الذاتيتين، كما أنه ضالع في الشؤون الاجتماعية والعملانية، لطالما سعى جاهداً لتحقيق رفاه وراحة الشعوب الجسدية والعقلية والداخلية. طرق سادغورو هي طرق علمية ومباشرة تنطوي على أكثر ما يهم الإنسان العادي في العلوم الصوفية، وإذا حدثته رغبة في تشاطر تجربته الداخلية العميقة التي طورت فهمه للحياة، طور سادغورو برامج اليوغا إيشا يوغا بروجرام كي يكون هذا حال كل شخص. الليلة لقاؤنا هو رحلة في قلب وعقل ورؤية المعلم الذي تجاوز الحدود. نجالسه، نسائله ونصغي إليه. Sadhguru, مساء الخير. Good evening. And thank you for being with us tonight. It's a pleasure. The word guru means dispeller of darkness.
Yes.
Who are you, Sadhguru?
See, life is happening in many different ways. Today, modern science proves to you that the whole existence, whether it's a stone or a stick or a human being or an animal or a plant, it's all the same energy, manifesting itself in so many different ways. Religions of the world have also been saying this in a different way. They have been going about proclaiming whatever gods they believe in is everywhere. Whether you say God is everywhere or you say everything is one energy, it is the same reality expressed in two different ways. So when you ask me who you are, I am also the same thing. But isn't there a difference between a stone and a tree and an animal and a human being and various types of human beings? So it's the same energy which can be evolved to its highest possibility. So as one evolves, the process of evolution was unconscious when you were an animal. When you were a monkey, you did not dream of being a human being. Those things happened, at least they say it happened. But now, once you have become a human being, unless you make a conscious effort, there is no possibility of evolution. The same human being, this moment he can be godlike, next moment he can be like a brute. This possibility is there in every human being. So evolving this human nature to its highest peak is the whole science of yoga. So when a person reaches a certain point of evolution where there is no question of falling back, when he's crossed a certain line, when there is no question of him falling back again, then we say he is fit to be a guru. Now they call me a Sadhguru because I am an uneducated guru. That means I do not know spirituality as a book, as a teaching, as a philosophy or a tradition. The only thing that I know is, I know this piece of life absolutely, to its ultimate possibility. I know only one thing, that is just this piece of life, which right now you call as me. This is all I know, and this is more than enough, that's all I'm saying. So, people call me Sadhguru because I know myself absolutely, and what is me in this deepest core is not different from anything that is in this world. So whatever solutions they want, they come to me because I give them an inner solution. I am not knowledgeable, I am not read, I am not learned in any way. The only thing that I know is myself, and that's more than enough.
People also call you the master, the realized master. What does that mean, to be a realized master?
Realization is just this. in the sense, if you want to look at it in terms of one's experience. See, when you were born, you were so small, isn't it? Now you became this much. This growth or this process of creation did not happen from outside, it happened from within. Maybe you provided the material in the form of food, but the manufacturer of this, the creator of this is functioning from within. Or the source of creation is within you, the seed of creation is within you. When you begin to experience your life not as a piece of creation, but as the source of creation, then we say you're realized. So realization is just this, that though you are a piece of creation, the very source of creation is constantly functioning within you. You can easily come to an intellectual understanding of that right now, but when you come to a living experience, at every moment you experience yourself as a source of creation, not as a piece of creation, then we say such a person is realized. Master is just an English word that they've added.
Are you the wiser?
Wisdom is something that comes with experience of life, with a certain inner context. Wisdom is not an established thing, wisdom is moment to moment. Right now, if you face one situation, you can either act in wisdom or act in foolishness. So there is no anybody who is an established wisdom. Every moment has to be handled in a wise manner. Wise manner means the way it works, isn't it?
But you once said, I'm not trying to buy a ticket to heaven, I know how to get there. Is
Yes.
this absolute wisdom?
This is clarity. This is absolute clarity about my own nature. This clarity definitely leads to wisdom, but clarity is what takes you across life. If you want to walk through this building, what you need is clarity of vision, not wisdom, isn't it? But after walking through this building a few times, now you collect a certain amount of wisdom about how to be in this building. Whether it's this building or this world. To walk through this world, what you need is clarity. But having walked a certain distance, now you gather a certain amount of wisdom, which is useful, of course. Or fundamentally, wisdom means doing your life the way it works. So instead of calling it wisdom, I'm calling it engineering for the modern society. I'm not calling it as wisdom because in many ways, the people in whom the masses believed as the wise misled them any number of times in history, isn't it?
Exactly.
So I'm not calling this wisdom, I'm calling this engineering or science. Now, people have a deep trust in science because it works. So engineering is fundamentally means creating situations the way you want it. So if you want to build this building, you called an engineer, not a wise man, isn't it? Isn't it so? You don't want to… today you're flying somewhere, you want an engineer who understands the airplane to fly this airplane, not a wise man, isn't it? So, this is engineering. As there is an engineering
But
to create…
I do want a wise engineer.
Not a wise engineer, somebody who has clarity, somebody who sees and understands things the way they are, isn't it? Wisdom is a certain accumulation which comes over a period of time, but without clarity there is no wisdom, isn't it? So now, as there is an engineering to create external situation, there is an engineering to create inner situation. This is what we are calling as inner engineering. Instead of calling it wisdom, I'm calling it engineering because engineers generally cannot fail. If they fail, you know they have failed. Wise people have… the so-called wise have failed us many times, but even if they fail, they have an explanation for their failure. An engineer cannot explain his failure. It works or it doesn't work.
Sadhguru, what is the purpose of life? Why has God created us?
The purpose of life is See, if you really want to know the purpose of life, you should not assume anything, first of all. When you're asking such a fundamental question, what you're asking is, why creation? You're just a small piece of creation. You don't ask that question, why? You ask me… because if you ask me why, I have to tell you a story. God had nothing to do one day, he was playing marbles, one marble became earth, another marble became sun, and all the story. When I tell you a story, or when I tell you something which is not yet in your experience, you have only two options, either to believe me or disbelieve me. If you believe me, it doesn't get you any closer. If you disbelieve me, does it get you any closer? So you're not going any closer to truth, you just have a story. A story will solace you, but will not find solutions for your life. So when it comes to creation, you never ask why, you ask me how. I have a method, I have a way, I have a science through which you can go through life. If you ask me how to go through this life untouched, how to reach its ultimate peak, if you ask me, I have a way, I have a method. But if you ask me why, I'll have to tell you a story. Stories are very entertaining, but they are not solutions to life.
We are all ears. Let's listen to your story.
I'm sorry?
We are all ears.
You want to know the story?
Yeah.
Story won't get you any closer to truth. My whole work is to get you there, not just to entertain you.
What about real happiness?
Real happiness, first of all, why are we creating this unnecessary conflict? Something called as real happiness and fake happiness. Either you're happy or not happy, that's all, isn't it? Let's make it more simple. What about happiness? When you say real happiness, you're talking about a happiness that lasts, isn't it? There are many things that can make you happy in the world momentarily, but it keeps falling down, it keeps crashing. Now you said you want a story, shall I tell you a story?
Please do.
People are trying to make themselves happy in so many ways, either through money or wealth or pleasure or power or so many things. All this is fine. It is just that though every human effort is in pursuit of human happiness, human beings have not gotten any closer to happiness than they were 100 years ago, 200 years ago, or 1,000 years ago for that matter, or 10,000 years ago. So much effort has been made, the very face of the planet has been changed in pursuit of human happiness. It has brought us comfort and convenience, but not brought us happiness as such. If you just look at yourself as a human being, as a sample human being, in 24 hours' time, how many moments of joy do you know in your life right now if you see? You will see you can just count them on your fingers, and many people in the world have nothing to count. But the same people, if you take them back in their life, let's say when they were children, let's say when they were 5 years of age, how many moments of joy did they know in 24 hours? They had many, isn't it? So from then, let's take 5 years of age as a base. From then to now, you did many things in pursuit of happiness. If those things had worked, by now you should have been ecstatic. It's not happened, that means what you have done has not worked, isn't it? Isn't it so? So let me tell you a story.
Sadhguru will be listening to your story shortly. Let's have a break and then we'll be back to you. أصدقائي المشاهدين، استراحة قصيرة، نعود من بعد لمتابعة هذا الحوار الشيق والمختلف مع سادغورو. خليكم معنا. نعود لمتابعة هذا الحوار المختلف طبعا مع ضيف هذه الليلة السادغورو. مساء الخير مرة ثانية. Sadhguru, back to your story.
On a certain day, a bull and a pheasant were grazing upon the field. bull grazing on the grass and the pheasant picking ticks off the bull. Partnership. There was a huge tree at the edge of the field. The pheasant looked up at the tree very nostalgically and said, "Oh, alas, there was a time when I could fly to the topmost branch of the tree, but now I do not have the strength in my wing even to go to the first branch of the tree." The bull very nonchalantly said, "Eat a little bit of my dung every day. Within a fortnight, you will reach the topmost branch of the tree." The pheasant said, "Oh, come on, what kind of nonsense is that?" So the bull said, "Really, try and see, the whole humanity is on it." Very hesitantly, the pheasant started pecking at the dung, and lo, on the very first day, the pheasant reached the first branch of the tree. Within a fortnight, it reached the topmost branch of the tree. It went and sat on the topmost branch of the tree, just beginning to enjoy the scenery. An old farmer was rocking on his rocking chair. He saw a fat old pheasant sitting on top of the tree, pulled out his shotgun and shot the bird off the tree. The moral of the story is, many times, bullshit can also get you to the top, but it never lets you stay there. So in so many ways you can make yourself happy. Right now, you can imagine that you are the king of this planet and feel very happy. Next moment somebody else is going to make you realize something else. You went outside, somebody told you are the most wonderful man, so you are on top of the world. You came home, people at home tell you who you are and you crash, isn't it? So happiness can be brought up in so many ways. Are you able to stay there? That's the question, isn't it?
Do you feel you're at the top of the world?
No, I have lost the need to be on top of the world. I am not at the top of the world. I've just lost the need to be at the top of the world. I never made an attempt to be at the top of the world, and so I'm blissful.
But people make you feel that you are at the top.
People don't make me feel anything. They may think I am, but they don't make me feel anything because who I am is not decided by what's around me. I have made myself in such a way that I have never given this privilege to any human being around me, that they can make me happy or sad or irritated or agitated or anxious or angry.
What is your state of mind?
What's my state of mind? Joyful. Right now it's very joyful, and because I'm conscious about the activity of my mind, I'm fully 100% conscious about the activity of my mind, I ensure that every moment of my life, my mind is joyful.
Are you always joyful?
That's what I'm telling you. Because I'm fully… See, suppose you were conscious of the activity of your mind. If your mind was taking instructions from you, would you make your mind joyful or miserable?
Joyful.
Joyful, isn't it? The only reason why people are becoming miserable is their mind doesn't take instructions from them, it's doing its own things. My mind takes 100% instructions from me. I don't let it do anything other than what I want it to do, so I'm always joyful.
We are sad, and we know that sadness is a burden by itself. It's a heavy feeling. Is it easy to accept a life filled with despair, with sadness? Is life the school where we learn how to fight this sadness?
See, whether you're sad or happy, both are created by you. Your sadness is created by you, your joy is created by you. If you were conscious, you would have definitely created joy, I'm sure of that. Because a large part of you is unconscious, you're ending up creating sadness as a reaction to the situations in which you're living. Right now, what is happening within you is not decided by you, it is decided by 1 million people outside of you. See, once you're in this world, this is the reality of the world that you have to live with. Not even a single person in your life will happen exactly the way you want them to happen, isn't it? Your husband, your wife, your child, your mother, father, nobody happens your way 100%. Only to some extent your way, rest of it their own way. Is it not very, very, very important that at least this one person happens your way? You should happen your way, isn't it? But even you are not happening your way, that's the tragedy. So right now, I am talking about a science through which you can make yourself happen your way. Once you happen your own way, will you be joyful or miserable? You will definitely make yourself joyful, because joy is not an idea. Joy is a basic longing of life. Life is longing and striving to be joyful, isn't it? So if you are in line with life, you will be joyful. Right now, you have become too much a part of the social situation outside. You are not life, you are society.
How can we give hope to the needy people?
As there is a science and technology to create external situations, there is a science and technology to create inner situations. To bring some understanding to this, let me put it this way. See, for example, peace. People are in pursuit of peace in a big way in the world. Peace is not an ultimate achievement in your life. Peace is a fundamental requirement in your life. Today, if you want to enjoy your lunch, you must be peaceful. Otherwise you cannot enjoy your lunch, is it so? If you don't have peace in
Not necessarily.
If you're not peaceful, can you enjoy lunch?
I might.
If a big turmoil is going on in your mind, can you enjoy your lunch? You won't even know what you eat most of the time.
If I'm so hungry, I do so.
You eat all right, but do you enjoy your lunch? See, when you're hungry, you fill yourself up, that's different. Enjoying… I'm using lunch as an example.
Okay.
So if you really want to enjoy something as simple as eating your breakfast, lunch or dinner, which even a dog or cat will do, even for that you need peace. So peace is a fundamental requirement in our life, is not an ultimate achievement. For example, if you take peace, suppose you lose your peace, what will happen? First signs are probably you will go and shout at somebody in your family, maybe your wife or child or somebody else who's in the family. If it continues, if it progresses, then maybe you'll pick a fight with your neighbor. If it progresses, then you go to your office and shout at your boss. The moment you shout at your boss, everybody knows that you need medical help. When you shouted in the family, people thought it's normal. But the moment you start shouting in places where it really matters and it's going to have big consequences for you, everybody understands you need medical help. So if you go to your doctor, initially he tries to talk you out of it, it won't work usually. So then the next thing is he puts a tablet into you. This pill is just a little bit of chemicals. If you take this little bit of chemicals, your body and your mind becomes peaceful, at least for a short period of time. Or in other words, what you call as peace is a certain kind of chemistry. What you call as joy is another kind of chemistry. What you call as anxiety is another kind of chemistry. Ecstasy is one kind of chemistry. Agony is another kind of chemistry. Every human experience has a chemical basis to it. Now I am talking about a science where you can create your chemistry in such a way that it's peaceful and joyful by its own nature. A chemistry of peace, a chemistry of joy you create for yourself by employing a certain technology. And being peaceful and joyful just becomes a natural part of you, not because of somebody or something.
You raise the issue of troubles or issue of doctor, of craziness. Today a lot of people are seeing psychologists every day. Why are we becoming so troubled? Are we all going crazy nowadays?
As the societies get more and more affluent, we see the madness is also increasing in a big way. Various social and, the world realities, the global realities are there for this, but fundamentally for a human being, one is insane or sane, or one is losing control over his own mind. That's all it is. You may give it names, you can call it depression, you can call it manic depression, you can call it something else, you can call it by many names, but fundamentally you're losing control over your own systems, isn't it? You have not made an attempt to understand the nature of what this is, to take charge of it. You're trying to live by accident. When outside situations work out well, you seem to be fine. When outside situations don't work out well, you go crazy, isn't it? Because you have not taken charge of your own systems. So I'm talking about science and technology through which you take a complete charge of your systems. No matter what happens with the outside, the inner reality is always decided by you. If you decide the course and condition of your mind, will you take it towards insanity? You will not, isn't it?
Sadhguru, when does a human being witness his own defeat?
See, one thing with the societies, the governments of the world, the societies of the world have not made any investment for inner well-being. So much investment has been made for external comfort and external well-being. No investment in any society has been made for inner well-being. I come from a culture where, in the ancient past at least, a huge amount of resources and humanity was focused and invested towards inner well-being of the people. But today that investment is not there. So, it doesn't matter what's happening in his life, he still feels defeated. Isn't it so? If you compare your life with your father's life or your grandfather's life, materially, are you not living much better than them? Far better than them? If you look at yourself as a generation of people, are you not the most comfortable generation ever on this planet physically?
Sure.
But still you feel defeated. So defeat is not of the outside, defeat is the way you feel within yourself. No investment has been made for inner well-being, that's why people feel defeated.
Let's have another break. أصدقائي المشاهدين، تركيز على الحوار طبعا وتركيز على كلامه. هو سادغورو الذي يطبق العلم، هو المعلم الذي يهدف إلى راحة البشر أينما كانوا في هذا العالم. استراحتين نعود من بعدها لمتابعة حوارنا، خليكم معنا. مساء الخير، إذا انضميتوا لنا الليلة عم نحاور السادغورو، هو المعلم الذي يصارع بالحكمة والعلم، يصارع الظلم والظلام. الليلة عم نحاوره بلقاء طبعا من العمر، والحديث معه كلنا أذان صاغية، عم نحاول نتابع ونركز على كل كلمة عم بيقولها. سادغورو, what is the largest obstacle to peace?
Yourself.
Myself.
You're talking about human peace or about the social, national peace?
Social national peace.
For everything, it's the human being, isn't it? If there are no peaceful human beings, there will be no peaceful society. Society is full of angry people, and you're expecting the country to be peaceful or the world to be peaceful, it won't happen. If there are peaceful human beings, peaceful society will naturally follow. So, it should start on all levels, but especially in the leadership. It's very, very important that we have genuinely peaceful people within themselves. Their minds and their hearts are peaceful. When you cannot keep your mind peaceful, how can you keep the world peaceful? What you see as the world outside is just a magnified impression of human mind. All the violence in the mind is just magnified on the street. So without creating peaceful people, hoping for a peaceful world is an empty dream. And right now our work is just that, to create peaceful individuals in all levels of life. We are working with the leadership in various places, political, business, social leaders, various types of leadership. If these people are truly peaceful in their minds and peaceful in their hearts, they will definitely create a peaceful world.
What is then the difference between terrorism and resistance?
It's individual perception. It's individual perception. People who are fighting for whatever they're fighting, the very fact that they're risking their life means that it means so much to them. Isn't it? Somebody is willing to risk his life for something, obviously it means that much to him, that's why he's doing it. So, wherever these things arise, if there were peaceful human beings, or if at least there were peaceful leaders, the first thing that we need to do about any conflict in the world is, conflicts are generated because of various problems may be there. There may be boundary problems, there may be land sharing problems, water sharing problems, oil sharing problems, or various other kinds of things. There may be any number of disputes. In human transaction, disputes will come. But over a period of time, it gathers a tremendous amount of emotion. But once the emotion comes, there is no solution. When there is high-pitched emotion about something, there will be no solution. So the first thing that we need to do is, the leadership especially should put the old emotions aside. If you're seeking a solution, put it aside and look at the issue as just an issue. Whatever problem arises between you and me, we can sit down and talk and find a solution, if only if we put our emotions aside. When we are still angry and hateful towards each other, it doesn't matter what efforts we make, there will be no solution, because in anger and hatred, we were not looking for solution, we are seeing how to eliminate the other.
But sometimes you have to. How do you perceive, how do you look at the freedom fighters, at the movements of liberation that have used arms and violence to gain their rights, to gain back their rights? How do you look at the French Revolution, the Algerian Revolution? How do you see the Lebanese resistance, the Palestinian resistance, the Vietnamese resistance? How do you perceive those movements?
As I earlier said, the very fact that they're putting their life to risk means everything to them, obviously, which needs to be respected and looked at carefully. Now you said all freedom movements have happened by using violence. I want to remind you, I come from a land where we sent away the conquerors who were well established for over close to 300 years in that country by a peaceful movement, without firing a single shot at them, just by a peaceful movement. Never before such a thing has happened. After that, again it's not happened yet, but it is possible. Mahatma Gandhi and the freedom movement in India proved that without violence you can make it happen. And that would be good for us and for our children, because once we start violence, you don't know where it'll end. Because if two parties are determined, both of them are fighting, obviously means both of them believe that what they're doing is right, both of them believe that it's too important for them, both of them are willing to risk their life. Once this comes, the only solution is one of them has to be eliminated. That's not really a solution. That is the problem, isn't it? So, there are peaceful ways of achieving what we want.
There are ways, yes, but how easy is it? How can third world countries face injustice,
it takes much more dedication,
cruelties through forgiveness, tolerance, pardoning?
I'm not talking about forgiveness, tolerance, this, that. I'm just talking about achieving the goal that we wish to achieve. What is it that we wish to achieve? We want to make our nation, our land, our world a place where we and our children can live well, isn't it? I'm just talking about achieving that goal. I'm not talking about forgiveness or this or that.
But these are the tools also to reach that goal.
It doesn't matter. We'll look at the tools later. First we have to understand and become a part of the principle, isn't it? The basic goal is we want to live well and we want to ensure that we leave a better world for our children. If that's the goal, how to make it happen, we have to see. But right now, we are forgetting that goal. For us, anger and hatred has become more important than the goal that we want to achieve. Then there's no solution.
So, what is the true value of saints and prophets who are what they are as a result of direct violence inhibition?
They are who they are only because of violence?
Take for instance, Jeanne d'Arc, she's a saint. But Jeanne d'Arc was burnt, and she was a fighter, and she fought for the rights of her people.
See, when you stand up for a certain cause, when you stand up to do certain things, if you do not handle the social realities properly, there will be reactions and there will be consequences. That is why I said, I am not looking at life as a bundle of values and principles. I'm looking at life the way it is and saying how to get to a point where all of us want to get. If you ask any human being on this planet, when he is feeling like a human being, you will see he wants to live peacefully, joyfully, lovingly in the world. This is the truth with every human being. When he is feeling like a human being, when he is angry with you, he will say something else. But when he is feeling like a human being, this is what he wants. So if this goal has to be achieved, how to get there? Let us not go by the examples that's gone bad in the past. Why are you picking up examples that went bad? Why don't you look at examples that worked? You're looking at examples that did not work. Just getting emotional about a certain issue and going out on the street may not be the solution. It may not work every time. You have to consider the realities in which you exist and look for a proper form of solution. What solution they found 100 years ago may not be a solution today. You have to look at the current reality, but all the time not forgetting what is the goal that we want to achieve. If your goal is just that, you want to suppress somebody and you want to become dominant, then the fight is endless. Then we are not talking about peace. If we are really talking about peace, then there's a solution.
Sadhguru, how does meditation for long hours and long durations help our spiritual growth?
See, we only put people into long hours of meditation only for short spaces of time in their life, because we don't actually teach meditation as a technique. If you learn meditation as a technique, it'll be endless suffering, because it'll not happen that way. If you cultivate your body, if you cultivate your mind, if you cultivate your emotion, and if you cultivate these life energies to a certain level of maturity, meditation is a flower that will blossom naturally. It is a fragrance that you will exude. So meditation is not a technique, it's a certain quality, it's a certain way of being. So getting to that state, there are many ways to cultivate the land. Now we grow a crop, let's say we grow a rose plant. Now, watering is not the goal, manuring is not the goal, pruning the plant is not the goal. The goal is to see the plant is full of flower, isn't it? So, to make this person in such a way that he is full of meditative fragrance every moment of his life, you have to cultivate these four dimensions of body, mind, emotion and life energies to a certain level of maturity. Meditation is a blossom that is bound to happen. So we don't teach meditation as a technique, we help people to cultivate themselves to a point where meditation becomes the way they exist.
Sadhguru, let's stop with the last break and then we'll conclude this interview. أصدقائي المشاهدين، وقفة أخيرة، خليكم معنا. القسم الأخير من لقائنا مع المعلم سادغورو. Most of people are seeking the truth and the right guidance to experience that ultimate truth. How can everyone find his guru?
It is not necessary for a person to search for a guru, because a teacher is not a guru. A guru is… what you call as a guru is not a person, it's a certain possibility. So, to lead oneself to that possibility, first of all, one has to prepare himself to that level of seeking and longing. So, as a part of this, we train many teachers, hundreds of teachers we train, and they are doing this work of preparing people. Not about coming to me or in that sense. A guru means they have created a certain possibility where it is possible for them to dispel their own darkness. So as a part of this, we have preparatory programs which prepares a human being or hastens his evolution from one level to another. This is handled in an absolutely scientific manner without imposing any kind of belief systems or philosophies or ideologies upon people. But the only limitation that we have is it takes 4 to 5 years of very intense training before we can allow people to even teach the basic program, which is just 7 evenings. So right now we have a few Lebanese teachers doing the work here. Within 6 to 8 months, they made quite a big difference here, I see. That's why you're here or I'm here right now. So, more of them are in training. Because this needs because this is a subjective science, this is an inner possibility. They need to come to a certain level of inner experience before they can deliver this preparation to other people. So one need not seek their guru, one needs to seek his own nature. On the way, when his longing is deep enough, a guru will happen.
Sadhguru,
If you go shopping for a guru, you will always find the wrong one, because when you seek something, you will always seek something that you're comfortable with, something that you like. That's not a good guru. When you sit in the presence of your guru, you must feel drawn to him. At the same time, you must be terribly uncomfortable. You want to run away, but you cannot run away, that's how you should be. Because a guru is somebody who threatens your limited existence to deliver you to a larger existence, who threatens your limited possibility so that you become a larger possibility. So, who you are right now is constantly threatened in his presence. If that doesn't happen, he cannot be your guru.
I'm trying to run away.
That's for different reasons.
Sadhguru, how can I overcome the many doubts that inhabit me?
You should not overcome your doubts. Doubts are healthy. A doubt means you have a question. If you have a suspicion, that's sickness. Suspicion means you've already made your conclusion, a negative conclusion. A belief is a positive conclusion. Suspicion is a negative conclusion. A doubt is just wanting to know, a question. Without a question, how can you know? So you don't have to overcome your doubt, you just have to deepen your doubt. Because when the doubt becomes very deep, you cannot keep quiet, you have to find a solution.
How can we expand love within our hearts?
Love is not something that you can ever expand. Love is not something that you do. Love is the way you are. It is not an act. It is something that you become. It's a certain quality that you become. You doing something to express your love is different. The expression itself is not love. Because there is love, you find different ways to express it. Each human being finds a million different ways to express his love, but first this must happen to you. So there are many romantic ways of looking at love. That's beautiful, we can write poetry about it. Let me make it technical for you so that it can be easily made a reality for you. I'm talking about the science of love. This may sound unromantic.
Although once you said something very poetic and very romantic. You said our lives become beautiful not because you're perfect. Our lives become beautiful because we put our heart into what we're doing.
I'm a poet.
You are,
But
indeed.
I'm making it clear, it's technical so that people don't misunderstand this. If you want to look at love technically, what is happening within you? See, it's like this. When you say myself, there are 4 parts to you. Your physical body, your mind, your emotion, and of course there's energy which makes these things happen. If you make your body very pleasant, we call this health and pleasure. If you make your mind very pleasant, we call this happiness and joy. If you make your emotions very pleasant, we call this love and compassion. If you make your energies, life energies very pleasant, we call this as blissfulness and ecstasy. So, if you know how to keep all dimensions of you very pleasant, being loving is just… it's like your fragrance. A flower doesn't make an effort to give you fragrance. It is fragrant, that's all. Love is like that. If your emotions have become very pleasant, you are loving. So if you find something around you where you will find any kind of means to express it. People who are in love find all kinds of means to find expression to it, isn't it? There is no particular thing to do. There is no particular act to do. Whatever you do, it could be expressed. So expression is not important. Human mind is ingenious enough to find a billion different expressions to it. The important thing is that your mind and your emotion and your body and everything has become pleasant. If that pleasantness has come, love is just natural to you.
Sadhguru, what does kindness mean to you?
Kindness means when there's no love in your heart, you're being kind to somebody. If you have love in your heart, there's no need to be kind to anybody. And kindness is an insult. See, do you want your friends and your family to be kind to you or to be loving to you?
Both.
Not true. If they're loving, it doesn't matter how they are, isn't it? Being kind means trying to make up for the lack of love, isn't it? See, right now, you visited your friend every day, thinking he's your friend. After 1 year, you realized your friend had no love for you, but he didn't know how to ask you to get out, so he was just being kind to you. Will you feel insulted or no? If he had asked you to get out, it would have been okay. But he was kind to you for 1 whole year, this is a terrible insult, isn't it? So let's not be kind to each other. If there's love in your heart, no need for kindness. Love guides you through your life. Love has its own intelligence of inclusion. Love is an inclusion process. Once I have included you as a part of myself, there is no need for me to kind to you. I will be to you just the way I am to myself, that's all. Kindness is when I have not included you, when I see you as separate and I'm trying to be good to you. This is horrible.
With that kind note and kind answer and kind smile, we reach the end of our interview.
Thank you.
Sadhguru, first of all, a big thanks
What I see is…
granted me this opportunity to be here with you, to sit with you, and to ask you those questions. I tried in a very narrow and limited time to raise many issues and to be able to talk about the questions that inhabit me and definitely that are of interest to the audience who I think is too high tonight, whether in Lebanon or in the Arab world or all over the world. I'm going to ask you to conclude this interview your own way, please.
I've been visiting Lebanon for almost 7 years now, and I see this is such a wonderful country, absolutely wonderful people. But I know this country has gone through so much pain and still not totally out of it. It's my wish and my blessing that the leadership in this country and the people of this country see that this country doesn't become a hot spot of conflict. If I tell anybody I'm going to Lebanon, the first question they ask is, they're killing each other, why are you going there? I'm telling them they are not killing each other, they're absolutely wonderful people. They have been absolutely wonderful to me wherever I go. And I know they're capable of this. Just because something has happened in the past, we don't have to make that our future. I implore all the leadership in Lebanon and the people of Lebanon that we don't repeat the past, we create a beautiful Lebanon for the future generations. It is such a beautiful country. Let's make it that way. Thank you very much.
Thank you. تصبحوا على خير.